In the last video, I talked a bit about how when you take each element of the dream from beginning to end, every character, every image, and you sit with that in imagination and look at what pops into your head spontaneously, not what you think about it, not what you theorize, not what you interpret, but what just immediately pops into your head, it gives you information about what the symbols mean. So I got an example for you for this video. This is number 6 in the series on decoding your dreams. So recurrent dreams often are an indicator that you're not getting the message. So I had this recurrent dream some years back that I kept losing my phone. It's a very common dream motif, comes up for a lot of people. And for each person, it may be different. For one person, it may be that their ability to communicate with other people is inhibited somehow. For somebody else, it might represent something more material or financial, because a lot of us use our phones to do business now. So after a couple of these dreams, I started wondering, what is up with this? There's something going on in my life that I'm not understanding correctly that's important. And the dreams were trying to make me aware of that. So phone, what's that? And so I would pull up an image of my phone, or I would actually hold it in my hand. What pops into my head? Communicating, reaching out, electronics, blah, blah, blah. I just made a list, right? Just wrote down a list. And at the end of that, I looked at it and went, I still don't get it. So got to dig deeper, right? So one day, after a few more of these dreams, and I kept, what is this, you know? I got a partial hit, so I was thinking, at that time I was in a relationship, and when I was at my girlfriend's house, I would often do schoolwork on my phone. I was in a second PhD program, and so I would read on my phone sometimes. And so I thought, yeah, that kind of feels like it's in there somewhere. I go by feelings rather than just mentally. Yeah, that feels right. Something about learning, education, that's part of it, but I don't feel like I've got it. So then I remembered telling my students about how, in terms of modern myths, which is a topic I love to teach, in a way, because these mythic motifs, these folklore motifs come back to life all the time, our phones are like a magic wand. We can do things with our phones that Merlin couldn't do. So when I was holding that image in mind, that popped into my head, accompanied by a feeling in my body as well as in my emotions, and I went, that's what that symbol is. The phone's a magic wand. And so what does that have to do with my life? That's the second question, right? So I looked back to when those dreams started, and I realized I had taken voluntarily a number of administrative responsibilities on at work. And admin is something I've done for a long time. I'm comfortable with it, but what you're comfortable with doesn't necessarily mean what you should be doing. So I was neglecting some of the things that give me joy and have a sense of magic for me, like teaching, some of the deep stuff, writing. I was putting off writing my first novel, which became Soul Mapper. All that was getting put on hold. So the dreams, I finally realized, were trying to tell me, you've lost some of your magic. It's disappeared, it's been stolen. In some of the dreams, somebody actually stole my phone. So you need to get that back. And so I adjusted my schedule a little bit, and then I took that back into the dreams, meaning one night I was in kind of a sleepy, pre-sleep place, and I asked myself, do I get it now? And my dreams shifted. And then I had a series of dreams where I got the phone back, but it was a cooler phone. It wasn't just the black flat thing that I use. So in this way, we can have a dialogue with our dreams. Jung called this the dream series, and he thought it was actually more important than single dreams. So that's a little bit of an indicator of how I work with dreams. More in the next video.